Hello, good morning to all. Before moving further into the depth of our syllabus regarding advanced process chemistry, I here discuss not only the meaning of process chemistry and its utilization. However, I also discuss here its scope and why ultimately this particular topic we are studying under the M form. So let us discuss and explore further the process chemistry as well as its various dimensions. So the very first thing is here is what is the meaning of process chemistry, or why we are studying the process chemistry, or how the process chemistry is differ from our core topic, that is the pharmaceutical chemistry, or why we study the process chemistry in pharmacy. So generally the process chemistry is a parallel topic, or the process chemistry is a parallel science to the pharmaceutical chemistry. And in a very simpler manner, or in a very simple way, we can also say the process chemistry is an arm of pharmaceutical chemistry. And the reason behind why I'm saying that process chemistry is an arm of pharmaceutical chemistry, or it is a parallel science to pharmaceutical chemistry, is the reason that this particular branch, or this particular topic, not only help us to synthesize any new molecule or any existing molecule, but it also helps us to synthesize it efficiently. And here, the efficiently is a bit more meaningful sentence when we are ultimately be comparing the synthesis of any molecule. And earlier also, I do hope you people have performed various experiments in the lab, or synthesized various molecules in the lab, and you do have came across the various reactions protocol, procedures, various reaction conditions, and the various reactions pre and post procedures that are has to be followed so that a molecule or a particular compound can be synthesized or be obtained synthetically. So what here the process chemistry ultimately do? So whatever the thing I have mentioned right now, the various reaction protocols, reaction pre and post procedures, reaction conditions, and everything which is ultimately related to any reaction, this process chemistry makes each and every aspect of the reaction more and more efficient. And once each and every aspect of any reaction gets efficient, we are able to produce the final product or the desired molecule not only efficiently, but we are also able to produce that particular molecule in a very well defined and a sharp line quality purposes. So this is what the process chemistry ultimately do. Now again, one question arises, how the process chemistry is differ from pharmaceutical chemistry or the medicinal chemistry. Now, as I said, that process chemistry is an allied branch, or it is a parallel branch, or it is an arm, or a daughter branch of pharmaceutical chemistry. So, what I mean here, the process chemistry will help us to carry on the reaction task efficiently at a larger scale. It optimizes a set of reaction and it helps us to produce that particular molecule in a large scale. However, in medicinal chemistry, or however, in case of pharmaceutical chemistry, we are ultimately, these branches are ultimately be aimed towards to explore or discover the molecules which are to be used for molecules which are ultimately be used for treatment of certain diseases. These particular branches, that is the medicinal chemistry, the pharmaceutical chemistry, are ultimately be dealing to produce or to yield the molecules which are used for treatment of diseases, or we are uh, exploring the molecules so that a particular drug or a candidate drug can be ultimately be produced. However, the process chemistry is help us to proceed, or it helps us to cope up with the reaction procedure or the reaction protocol at a larger scale, and also help us to optimize same, so that whenever it is required, that particular reaction procedure or the protocol can be used to produce the same molecule at a larger scale. So generally or usually the chemists are in continuously in search of various reaction processes or the procedure by which they are able to produce certain molecules which are ultimately be further be used as a drug or for a therapeutic purposes. And while exploring the reaction pathway, sometimes certain creative reactions are ultimately be discovered by which a particular molecule can efficiently be synthesized in a higher yield compared to the one which was synthesized earlier by the conventional reaction pathway. So, in order to justify this particular statement, I will give a very good example, and we will ultimately just uh, explore this particular concept by taking an example. So, for an example, if I want to synthesize a molecule X, let us say, if I want to synthesize a molecule X, and for synthesizing that particular molecule, I have to follow number of steps, and each step, whatsoever the reactant, whatsoever the intermediate so produced, by one step has to be introduced into the next step, and finally this process is continuously going on for the 5 consecutive steps, and finally we are getting our product. And then various post reaction protocols has to be followed so that the pure product is ultimately be produced or obtained. Now, say while searching for a novel pathway, now this is the conventional pathway by which I am producing a molecule X by following 5 steps. Now, while searching for some novel steps, or for searching for some other pathway, uh, I do came across that there is a pathway by which I am able to produce the same molecule X only by the 2 steps. And so the same molecule which was earlier be produced by the 5 steps are now be able to produce by the 2 step, and efficiently it is able to produce. So now by following the certain protocols of process chemistry or by exploring the various reactions in detail, we came across that whatever the molecule which we are earlier be able to producing by certain step are now be get reduced or minimized, and hence we are now be able to produce the same molecule with more efficiency and less input. So this is what the process chemistry ultimately help us to do. Now, as we have seen that process chemistry helps us to explore the various aspects uh, regarding synthesis of any molecule. So, how it helps us, or what is the advantage of studying the process chemistry, or why we are studying the process chemistry? So, there are various, or I say, there are numerous advantages of studying the process chemistry, or there are numerous advantages by which the process chemistry is ultimately will help us to move further. The very first thing is the process chemistry help us to produce or to yield any molecule in a very efficient manner. It helps us yield the molecule efficiently. And earlier, as I stated, the meaning of efficient synthesis is more than it can be defined verbally. So anyone who have undergone or who have initiated or performed the laboratory task for synthesizing the molecule, they do have know that yielding a molecule is not only a technical task, but it is also or not only it is a very skillful task, but it is also a tedious for certain molecules which are produced by multiple step reaction or multi-step reactions. So what the process chemistries do, by exploring the novel pathway, or by searching or by developing the novel pathway, it helps us to reduce as much as possible, or it helps us to minimize as much as possible the number of pathway, so that the same molecule can be produced efficiently with lesser inputs. So this is the one dimension, and this is a very important dimension. The efficiency, or the net efficiency by any molecule can be produced with the process chemistry is having a very wide scope well itself in it, or this is one of the main goal of any reaction, to produce a molecule efficiently. The next thing what the process chemistry do, it help us to produce or generate or synthesize a molecule in a cost effective manner. So what is the cost effectiveness, or what is the cost effective manner by which a molecule is produced or it is obtained? So earlier also I have given an example for the multi-step reaction, and now I also give an example. For an example, I am synthesizing a molecule X which is used for treating some diseases. Let us consider. I'm just taking an example. And to synthesize same molecule, that is the molecule X, I have to follow a total of 8 steps. How many steps? A total of 8 steps. Now in 8 steps, I am able to produce a molecule X, a therapeutic molecule X or a drug X, by initiating a reaction, multi-step reaction which is having an 8 step. And during each step, whatever the intermediate so produced, it has to be again reinduced into the consecutive reactions and various pre and post reaction protocols or procedure has to be followed so that the final product or the final outcome can be reached or achieved. So if the same product I am producing with a novel reaction as per the process chemistry protocol is produced in the 4 step at the same amount or in a better amount is said to be cost effective. It is although efficient also, but it is also said to be cost effective. Now, cost effective is one of the major parameter which is further be used for the commercialization of any molecule. So how this cost effectiveness can be further be calculated or it has to be achieved? So again, I am discussing the same reaction or the same reaction protocol, and here earlier the reaction was, or the earlier the product which was formed by 8 step, a total of 8 step. Now the net cost of that 8 step is 800 rupees, 100 rupees for each step. For an example, I'm just taking an example, given an example. So each step costs 100 rupees, and the product which is formed by multi-step 8 reaction is finally commercialized at a cost of 800. And same product which when produced by the novel set of reaction, it is produced by the 4 step, although this is also a multi-step reaction. The product is not formed by the single step, it is produced by the multiple step. However, here the overall or the net number of steps are reduced to the 4. Number of steps are reduced to the 4. And if I say for each step or each step utilize 100 rupees for various purposes, and so the overall commercial cost, if I say for an example, for the product so obtained is 400 rupees. Now if we compare the cost effectiveness here for the final product, we here the one product which is produced by the conventional pathway cost 800 rupees. The same product which is produced by the novel pathway cost 400 rupees. It is half to the one which is produced by the conventional reaction, and so it is cost effective. Now, as I said, that particular product is synthesized efficiently or in a higher rate in case of novel pathway. So it is also fruitful for us. So this is what the cost effectiveness. As the number of steps are reducing, it not only reduce the overall prices, but it also reduce the overall net input which is required for any reaction to produce the desired product. It also reduces the various reactions or various pre and post step reaction, so that the product can, which are ultimately be used for synthesizing a particular molecule. So this is the one aspect. Now the next aspect or the next dimension is the overall length of the reaction. So I again take the same example, and as in case of my earlier example, if the 8 steps are utilizing, for an example, 8 days, one reaction or per reaction 1 day, total of 8 reaction, and for each reaction 1 day, single day. So by following the conventional pathway, we are able to produce any product by 8 days. And by following the novel pathway, which was developed or explored, we are producing the same molecule without compromising its quality in 4 days. So again, this is how we are again in advantage, or we are again ahead of the time. The product which requires 8 days to produce, now the same product is able to produce in 4 days. So this is what, by following the certain protocols under the process chemistry, we are able to reduce the overall reaction time or the length of the reaction. So I also here discuss the various input to output ratio. That is how the various inputs are ultimately, or how a reaction input and output ratio are helpful to calculate the reaction economy as well as yield of product. So any reaction is said to be a good reaction if the overall output is more as compared to whatever the input has been induced or given. And usually such things are very rare. Generally, sometimes the it is I won't say that reaction inputs and outputs are all the same, but sometimes the reaction input and output varies. But the gap should not be very much. More the gap between input and output, reaction input and output, poor the reaction is said to be. This has to be kept in mind. And by following the novel pathways or novel reaction pathway, we are able to fill that particular gaps. The next thing which process chemistry will help us is to have a good atom economy. So what this atom economy means? What is an atom economy is? Atom economy means what are the total number of atoms. I'm just describing it in a very general sense. What atom economy is? Atom economy means the total number of atoms which are induced in the reaction. Here the total number of atoms are the reactant molecule or the reactant. The total number of atoms is for the reactant. So what are the total number of reactants? The total number of atoms of an reactant or reactants are induced in a reaction and they are present in a product. So generally, a better or an excellent reaction is having a very good or higher atom economy. So this ultimately state that whatever, if a reaction is said to be more atom economical, it is having a highest atom economy, this indicates that whatever the molecule we have induced, whatever the molecules are be induced in the reaction of reactants are get converted into the product without any loss. There is no loss. However, it is not so. Generally, while we are proceeding for any chemical reaction, or while we are producing any novel molecule, or while we are producing any organic molecule, generally the reaction economy is less, but it should not be poor. And the reaction where the atom economy is poor, it is not a good reaction, or that reaction is not said to be a good. The next dimension which we have to look into for the next dimension which we have to look into for process chemistry is the yield. Now, while performing any synthetic task in our labs, I hope you people do have calculated the percentage yield. And this, there is a formula to calculate the percentage yield. We have to follow that particular formula, and we have to put all the result, whatever the amount of reactants we have taken, and total number of moles we have taken, and then we have to ultimately uh, be able to calculate the percentage yield. And this percentage yield is very, I say it is a very crucial, it is a very crucial term. And generally, there are very rare reactions, very rare chemical reactions where percentage yield is very high. Generally, for reactions, the percentage yield is low. Generally, for the reaction, the percentage yield is low, and any reaction where the percentage yield is greater than 95% or greater than 90% is said to be an excellent reaction or a better reaction comparatively to the reactions which are having a percentage yield less than 90% or less than 80% or less than 70%. So less than 70% is usually be considered as not as much as good compared to the 80 or 90%. However, more than 90% or the 95% is said to be a better reaction yield or a better reaction output. So here, as I said, only very rare reaction, for an example, Diels-Alder reactions is the one where the percentage yield is sometimes 10% or it is 100%. Sometimes it is. However, when compared to other reactions, the Diels, whatever the percentage yield of Diels-Alder reaction is comparatively greater as compared to the another reaction or other reaction. So, wherever possible, whether we can follow the pathways by which we are able to produce any molecule or an organic molecule or a drug molecule at a higher rate. And whenever we are getting any product in a higher yield, in a more yield, in such a case, not only the overall yield or not only the net amount of product what we are getting is get increased, but also the overall production cost can also be get compromised. And that compromise in the production cost or that particular compromise in the overall net reaction cost is then be able to reduce, the cost or the final cost of that particular product. And once we are producing any organic entity or any organic molecule efficiently in a higher yield and at a less cost, its overall final price is always less. And it is beneficial for our society. So you can see here how by following the various protocols or by following the novel procedures, we are well able to produce an organic entity or an organic molecule or a drug molecule efficiently. So these are the certain dimensions of process chemistry which are ultimately help us to produce or to obtain or to synthesize any molecule efficiently or in an efficient manner. Now the another dimension which I am going to discuss here is the product quality or the quality of final product which we are obtaining. So I am just limiting my discussion only towards the reaction protocols or the synthetic procedures. So if I would say some reactions are induced, I'm giving the two examples of reactions. Say I'm producing a product A or a product, I'm producing or obtaining a product X by following a reaction step, one reaction steps by which the product A is formed by 5-step reaction and the overall product quality is 90%. This is the first case. In first case, the product A is formed by following 5 set of reactions and the net quality of product A is 90%. Now under the next set of reaction, the same product A or X, whatsoever it is formed by 3 steps and the overall product quality is say it is 70%. Overall product quality is said to be 70%. So in step 1 or in a first step where we are obtaining the product by 5-step reaction, the overall product quality is 90%. And in another case where the product is obtained by another case where the product is obtained by the 3-step is having a product quality of 70%. So once we are comparing the product quality, the product which is formed by the 5 set of reaction is having a 90% product quality, and the product which is having the 70% product quality is formed by the 3-step reaction. So which one is the better one? Here, for commercial purpose, for the purpose of purity, for the purpose of quality, the product which is produced by the 5-step reaction is said to be the better when we compare to the product which is produced by the 3-step reaction, which is having a product quality of 70%. So here, what the role of process chemistry comes in? It exists. Can we are able to produce the same product with a higher product quality by certain reactions where the overall reaction step get reduced, our input get reduced, however our output of the product or our quality of the product get increased. For an example, where we are producing our product by 3-step reaction, which is having a product quality of 70%, thus we are able to produce the same product with some novel pathway, or we are able to change the procedure, change certain reactants, change certain attacking reagents, change certain solvents, or deviate our conventional reaction to certain novel path, to follow certain novel path. so that the same product can be obtained in a higher amount with lesser reaction input, or it is more beneficial if we are able to produce the same product at a higher product quality with the one which we are obtaining it by conventional pathway. So these all are the certain dimensions or certain aspects of process chemistry which are used to produce or to obtain the organic molecules or the drug entities or any set of molecules more efficiently so that they can be used for the commercialization process. This is because whatever the molecule which we are producing in our labs or whatever the molecule which the medicinal chemistry or the pharmaceutical chemistry is exploring, the drug molecules which we are exploring, that molecule has to be commercialized whenever it is found to be efficient and it is having a value for our society. However, there are various different or more dimensions of process chemistry are there, which has to be explored. Although I have only mentioned here only few dimensions or aspect I have mentioned here and discuss its scope. So this is how the process chemistry makes the medicinal chemistry or the pharmaceutical chemistry more efficient. It helps us explore the more creative pathway, help us to explore the novel pathway, it helps us to carry on our synthetic task via non-conventional synthetic protocols so that the molecules or the desired molecules are obtained as per requirement without compromising its yield and without compromising its quality. So these are the certain dimensions, and in our next classes or in my upcoming lectures in process chemistry, I do discuss the various other dimensions of advanced process chemistry, and we do look into how these dimensions are advantageous for us to not only to explore the various pathways, but it also help us to get the molecules or to produce the molecules which are more efficient in synthesis or which are more in quality as well as they are more uh, uh, not only efficient in the yield, in the efficient in the production of their yield, in their quantity, but they are also efficient in their quality. So in a case, if any of you is having any problem in the today's lecture, or any one of few people or any one of the student having any problem in my today's lecture, or you are having any query in my today's lecture, you can please post your queries whenever you are having. You can mail me back your query to my mail ID. My mail ID is Chaurasia, CHOWRASIA dot Deepak, DEEPAK @gmail.com. And you can post me all your queries without any problem. Whenever the query knock in your mind, you can post me back your queries to my mail ID 24/7. Whenever the query knock in your mind, you can just post me your query. I do resolve your query whatsoever you are, or whatever the question you are having in your mind. So thank you, and that's all for your